What's up, guys? How we doing? Your hot boy here, Cowboy Crunk, coming to you live from Kabul, Afghanistan. You know how we do it here. Just wanted to step in and give you guys an update. Man, we played well. Completely different game, especially by Dak. Really, as far as a quarterback managing the game, and I gotta take these glasses off, guys. Sorry, with my blind ass, I can't see a damn thing. So I'm gonna come out of hot mode, guys, and go into business mode so I can see. We got some stats to go over. We got some things to check out, and want to really. I don't know who the credit goes to. Does the credit go to Dak? Does the credit go to the coaching staff? For preparing Dak, but completely different game, completely different play calling. That was very evident, especially on the run. The run plays looked much better. Some guys are riding Ezekiel Elliott a little bit, saying he didn't play so well. Let me get my chat box open here real quick, guys. Sorry. Where are we at? Let me close this one. But as far as you look at everything, we didn't have a lot of negative runs. We didn't have very many negative plays at all, and that's what got us in trouble against Carolina. It was negative plays. It was penalties at the wrong time. Football is a situational game. You've got to play right, steady. You've got to can't put yourself in bad situations, especially when you're a walk it up the field type team like we are. We are short yardage, walk the ball up the field, 4 or 5 yards at a chunk, and we're not a team that's going to blow you away and get a 25, 30-yard play 10 times, a game. Joseph Sandberg, what's up? How you doing, bro? Yes, credit to the defense. I did want to go over that as well. Everyone knows we had 6 sacks. When I thought we got 6 sacks against the Giants, which is pretty good. I was watching the Seattle game last night. They gave up 5 sacks in the first half, and in the second half, they made the adjustment. But normally, what happens, in those situations, the Giants being down, normally you give up a majority of your sacks in the second half if you're down by 2 touchdowns, especially two scores. That's what really changes a game. When you go down by 2 scores and it gets late in the game, the other team can release the hounds. They can just send everybody off the snap of the ball. They know you're passing it. They don't have to respect the run anymore. And that's another thing. If you don't have a run game, they don't have to respect the run. I want to go over these running stats, the rushing stats, also the passing stats on Zeke. If you look at our stat line, just take the New York Giants stats out. If you look at our stat line, it looks like we really didn't have that good of a game. No one in particular had a great game, other than Dak. He had a couple bad throws, so I wouldn't say he had an excellent game. You guys know he missed Rico Gathers in the end zone, and that was a heartbreaker, dude. I just wanted to see, first of all, Dak complete the ball. Second of all, I wanted to see Rico. He comes in for 5 plays. He almost made an outstanding catch where the ball was well overthrown. But that was where Dak had to throw it. The defender was in front of Rico. Rico's the only one that could have even made a play on that ball. So we've got to start using him in especially in red zone situations, or situations where we have a 3rd and long, or 3rd and semi-long, 3rd and 8. I would like to see him on the field more. So real quick, guys, I do got some stats here. I just wanted to make sure the chat box was working. So it is early in the morning. I know I want to get this video, really I want to get this out as a video so I can get it posted for everyone to check out, while they're at work or whatever. First thing, I got a new database for stats that, man, it just has anything. So if any of you guys got questions on a stat for the game, shoot me the question right there. Zeke averaged 4.6 yards a carry. That's we can deal with that, and that's perfect. He had 17 carries, which is not a lot, but what what opened what opened up because of that is Dak Prescott's rushing. Dak Prescott had, let me see this real quick, and I had this pulled up earlier. Dak Prescott had for rushing, where we at? Dak Prescott, he had 7 rushes for 45 yards, so he's averaging 6.5 yards per carry. And we don't. That's about perfect. That guys, that's what we need him to rush per game. Anywhere from 6 to 8, 9 rushes a game is what we want to see out of Dak. We don't want to jeopardize him too much, but you guys could see he came out with this game, the first drive, with a totally different attitude and determination, and it was rightfully so because he played like garbage last week, and everyone was on his case, including me, and it wasn't because I was upset with Dak or pissed with Dak. I truthfully felt he wasn't allowed to prepare properly. The coaches didn't put him in the position to succeed, and that's what happened last week. Um, this week they caught the hot seat from the NFL, from us as fans. We're very vocal fans, guys, and that you think the news we put out here on YouTube doesn't get back? It filters up. We're bottom feeders. Yeah, we're at the bottom of the tank, but I can guarantee you they knew, not only the talking heads and the fans and the YouTubers and the bloggers, everyone was saying the same damn thing. The Cowboys didn't prepare right. Dak didn't get enough snaps. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't on the field enough. And Ezekiel Elliott only had 17 rushes, and the reason was we had other things that were working well. Dak was rushing well. The rushes he had, we moved the ball down the field, and we showed progress in some other areas. We got away from those stupid bubble screens that I can't stand. We did run enough of them to keep the defense honest. And what you do with those is that keeps the box. You guys know they talk about the box. When they say putting 8 or 9 in the box, or 8, with a safety down in the box, they do that because you've got to use the sides of the field. And I've been talking a lot about, our offense has been east to west, east to west. We don't push anything north. But you do that because if something breaks over here on the left, you've got that whole sideline. That keeps your safeties deep. That'll also allow them to keep 2 safeties. What's up, Joe Lucas? Lucas Brazzi in the house. Luca Brazzi. I don't know if you know who Luca Brazzi is from The Godfather, but every time I see your name, I think of that. Luca Brazzi. I know it's Lucas. I know it's different, but it's a little close. But anyways, that keeps your defense. That keeps your defense deep. It also. Oh, really? That's cool. Yeah, Italian. Yeah, I lived in Italy for a year, so I got you, bro. I lived in Pianca Valley, which is up by Aviano Air Base, up in the north, by the border of Switzerland. And But it keeps, when you run those bubble plays to the left and the right, that keeps your defense spread out and also deep, because it does make you cover, the part of the field outside the hashes, which opens up the middle, which is what worked, which really, really is what worked for us against the Giants. You guys saw we were hitting those passes across the middle to Cole Beasley. Deontay Thompson had a few. Completely different game this week. And that comes from the coaches too, guys. The coaches coached up properly. The team, that we were prepared. The play calling was 100% better. We do have to run those bubble screens. When I'm saying I hate those things, I hate that we ran 12 of them in the first game. I think we ran 4. I recall 3 or 4 in the second game, which is enough. You run them too much, and you risk a chance of a pick six because you get predictable. Because if it gets picked off in the flats, they're taking it 15 yards into the end zone, or whatever, 50, 60, 80 yards into the end zone. You use those to stretch the defense wide and also make the safeties respect. They've got to play a little deeper, because if they play on the line of scrimmage right behind the linebackers and a play on the left side or the right side breaks, there's no safety, doesn't have time to get back. So those plays are important. I understand them in the concept of them in the offense, but not at 12 times a game. Maybe 4 or 5. Shout out to you, Crunk, for your service. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I love doing what I'm doing. Still waiting on our military guest tomorrow. If you guys are in the DC area, I got confirmation on a meeting. I'll be in DC for about 3 days in May. Oh no, I got to look at that. It's in May of, I think, actually, I think the draft is in early May. So at the end of May, middle of May 2019, I'll be there for a huge military fuels conference. It's a worldwide energy thing. There's companies from all over the world, and NFC will be one of the primary guests there. So if you're in the DC area, we'll be just got confirmation on that today. That's why I'm putting it out. But that's a long ways down the road. But yeah, I do understand the concept of the bubble screens. Why they do stretch the defense left to right, and they make the defense play a little deeper. It makes you cover a larger area. You can. It also spreads the box out a little bit for Ezekiel Elliott because those guys are expected to move left to right versus Ezekiel Elliott up the middle or Ezekiel up the right side or left side. So. Ezekiel Elliott played well. He didn't get the carries we wanted. We would like to have seen more carries, but we didn't need. We still combined. We had 138 yards rushing, guys. That's outstanding. That's what we need right there. If we can get between 130 and 150 yards rushing per game, we're gonna win. If we can get Ezekiel Elliott up around the 100 range and keep Dak around the 40, 50 yard range, and get Rod Smith a run or two in there. Sean Lee got some rest. I know he had a small injury there towards the end of the game. He had a cramp or something, which should not affect him, they said. But I was happy to see Leighton Vander Esch in there with the score like it was. Dude, get Sean Lee out of there. Get Jalen Smith out of there. Now I know that's a tough call because you don't want to get Dak hurt, by taking Jalen Smith out, but we need to preserve. It's like when it's like when you have a dessert or something. You don't just sit down and eat the whole pie at one time. This our players have to last us the season. So anytime we can get players rest, key veteran players, I think we should get them rests. Hoping to have Xavier Woods back this week. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it looks like he's going to be active this week. Let me go over my notes real quick. The improvements. Yeah, one thing, Dak went 25 for 16 on his passing game, and he had 160 yards. Would like to see him up around 200, but we can win games. As long as our defense is playing the way it is, we can win games with him in the 180 yard range. As long as his completions are there and the turnovers. Those are the things that'll kill us. Turnovers, guys. On the negative note, going into negative things. Actually, we didn't have negatives in this situation, but we had 6 penalties for 47 yards. That's a big deal to us that we kept that low. We kept that down relatively. 6 penalties for 47 yards is about ballpark average. You don't want to go much more than that. Last week against Carolina, we had 10 penalties for 85 yards. So that's 8.5 yards per penalty on average. When we get those kind of penalties, because we walk it up the field, like I said, we're a monotonous team. We grind it out. We walk it up the field. If you just going to take the average, because sometimes they're 5, sometimes they're 10, whatever. If you take a 8.5 yard penalty, I know there isn't one, but like I said, I'm using the average. On first down, you're at 1st and 18. The Cowboys are a team that it's going to be difficult for us to achieve that 18-yard goal in those 3 plays. We're not that type of offense. We're not built that way, and we're not built that way on purpose. But having an explosive player, which you guys know we're looking at, bringing Bryce Butler back. I like Bryce Butler when he was here before. I didn't see the reason why he didn't get more snaps, especially when I saw you could feel the tension with Des Bryant, that things really weren't going so well. I was like, man, well, if they're unhappy with Des, why don't they just play Bryce Butler a little more? But then again, if you sit Des Bryant, he's going to cause more problems. So the best thing to do, I guess, was do the release and cut Dez and move on. Now, if he could come back now, it's kind of like he's had punishment. He's been on timeout. Would he be different? Would he come back in, walk into the huddle, accept the play, and accept what Dak decided to do with the ball? If he could do that, shit, man, bring Dez Bryant back. If he could do it for the right money, I could see Dez coming in saying, okay, look, I agree, you guys, I understand. He's a young quarterback. He's going to do what he wants to do with the ball. I won't influence it. I won't say anything. But Dak had a lot of passion. That's all it was. Dak had passion beyond belief, and he wants, he's the type player. He's going to cheerlead on the sideline and sometimes getting in someone's ass. That's what makes it tough. If Dez goes to get in someone's ass or say, come on, man, do this, man, you got to block him. Don't let him get on you just kind of cheerleading in a way. Well, you got to be the type person that can take that. You got to be in a strong position. The other thing you have to have a coach that does it more than the player. You can't have a player that's more aggressive than the coach. That right there, that's what got Dez in trouble. You got Jason Garrett over there all the time clapping, hey, that's okay, it'll be better. Then you got Dez coming over say, hey, man, don't do that shit again, man. Step up, use your feet. You know how to block. We worked on that in practice. You can't do that. We can't be giving up sacks, man. If he says that to a lineman or something, or says something to a defensive player, or says something to, hey, man, we worked on that in practice talking to Dak. We worked on that in practice, man. I told you throw that deep, throw the back shoulder here and do it this way. But the coach ain't doing that. Now he looks bad. You know what I'm saying, guys? Is the cornerback? Are you talking about the quarterback like Dak Prescott? Or are you talking about the cornerbacks like Chidobe Awuzie and Byron Jones? Only on DUC. GM Crunk, what's up? Hey, what's up? Armando Lopez, how you doing, bro? Oh, the Cowboys' worst enemy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought you meant the cornerbacks because I was talking about the actual quarterbacks, and I was also talking about, him causing kind of causing some conflict. When your coach isn't aggressive, like I was saying, you can't have, an aggressive player that's gonna try to supersede what your coach is saying or be more aggressive. If Dak Prescott feels like, if Jason Garrett ain't yelling at me, what you gonna come over here and yell at me for? He's the boss. You're not the damn boss. I mean, and you know what I mean? It gets that way. And I'm sure Dak Prescott was like, didn't really want to take it that way, but it does, I'm sure, get old. So that was the situation to me with Dez. If the coach was a hard ass and he sets that tone on the team, like if Chris Richard was our coach, it might be more realistic for Dez to get away with that, to come to Dak or come to a lineman or whatever, or get upset on the sideline and say, hey, man, this shit ain't working, man. We got to get this shit. We got to start blocking. They're getting in on Dak, and he's talking to the lineman or making comments that we're not blocking good. People don't like that, especially when the coach is just saying, hey, guys, that's okay. We'll get them. You gotta follow the coach's attitude. And if you step over that, then you're stepping out of line and you look out of place. So Dak's passion just kind of got him in trouble is what I think. The Dallas Cowboys D is beast and is going to be Armando Lopez. I agree, brother. And you just sent me into hot boy mode. So we're going to go into hot boy mode for the next 2 minutes. Hot boy mode. They coming to get them sacks, baby. We're going to sweep the Jalen Smith. We're going to do all of it because the defense is really, really looking good, guys. I will tell you right now, with these glasses on and my vision, I can't see shit. So I can't see the chat box. I can't see my notes. I can't see nothing. So I got to take the glasses off. It don't look as cool without the glasses. It just don't look as cool. But let me switch the glasses. All right. Now it looks all right, but it don't look the same. Let me see, guys. Let me show this. Oh, I don't like that word. I don't know why I did that. But anyways, Victor Whitfield, David Irving comes back, and we get Randy Gregory. Guys, man, that's gonna be awesome, dude. Completely. man, it's going to be on fire. And really, guys, I really am surprised we didn't get an interception during the game. Uh, Eli Manning played outstanding, and I wanted to make sure I said that during this. And I don't like Eli Manning. I'm not on his, jock at all. I can't stand Eli Manning. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback at all. I think he's very lucky to have 2 Super Bowl rings. He played, okay. But what I'm saying about Eli Manning is the fact that he went 33 for 44, had a very good game, and we still dominated. That's cool. You know what I mean? That's a good thing for us that Eli Manning played well. I think he got lucky. Congrats to the Bears. Congrats to the Bears last night for beating the Seahawks. I'm watching that game now. That's another thing I want to get into here in a minute. But let me finish this Eli Manning thing. And the reason is we just had the electric flash. I hope it doesn't shut down my internet. It might gonna do that. No, it didn't. Sorry guys, the electric flashed real quick. I wanted to check everything. But Eli Manning played very well. They didn't have very many turnovers, just the 1 fumble. Shaquan Barkley, we shut him down completely.